I'm here today to talk to you about one of my favorite subjects. I have spoke with you before about children because I believe that's one of the main reasons that God wanted us to find this one voice of all Christians together in our nation, was because our children are growing up in a society that is inappropriately teaching them things that are not good for them, that it's not teaching them what God would have them know, the beliefs and the morals and the standards and the love of Christ, the love of one another. You know, the main commandment that God gave us was to love Him. But He said the second most important one was to love each other, to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And so that's something that He gave us. And the way that we do that is by passing down from generation to generation that love that comes out by how we teach our children and what we teach our children. Do we teach them about God and Jesus who died for their sins and build them up and let them know that they are loved? We have to continue to teach out of the Bible and what God has shared with us, and let them know what is good, not what is evil. And let them know that loving one another, doing for each other, sharing good things. You know, when I was a kid growing up, we had some wonderful TV shows. I'm sure a lot of people would find them as amusing as we did. And a lot of them were a little crazy, and they were about these families and situations and how a child did something bad, but they learned a lesson from it. Because that's what we wanted our kids to see. We wanted them to know that everyday life is important. It is valuable. Everything that they see and do should be about taking them to a place where they can have joy, peace, love, and happiness. Too often nowadays, happiness and joy, people feel that they can give their kids by giving them a movie about something that's not even real, a TV show that has things on it that are less than real also. We need to teach our children that everyday life is what's important. How you treat your neighbor, how you treat your teacher. Do you treat her with respect, or him? How you interact with people, how you treat your sisters and brothers in your own home. These are things that are very vital, but instead we're teaching things like violence, fantasy. There's so many movies and shows nowadays that are filled with fantasy, with pretend characters. Yeah, we had cartoons when we were little. Even they were a bit more violent than they should have been, but at least there was happiness and joy and that type of thing. Have there always been people that wanted to put the wrong storyline out there for others to learn from? Of course. From the beginning of time, there's been books that are teaching and good or fun. Even fiction has a wonderful side. There's some beautiful fiction books that teach us values and teach us the way that life can be painful and hurt, because yes, God says there will always be trials. But how do you handle a trial? Do you handle it with hate and viciousness and vindictive? Or do you handle it with love? That's what we want to teach our children. Not the bad side. Not how to handle it in a way which is get back at everybody, but how to handle it in a way which is understanding, forgiveness, patience, honesty. To speak to somebody in honesty and tell them that they hurt your feelings is a whole lot different than when somebody hurts your feelings and you get back. You do paybacks. It's so sad that I see so much of this in the country now. And we won't get into the real adult stuff. We're talking about kids here. We're talking about how we raise them. Do we set them in front of a TV with violence and fantasy and make them think that it's okay because it's a game, that you can shoot everybody or you can get everything out of the way to gain in the show or on the game? How are they going to see life then when they go to school or out in the neighborhood and they see something they don't like? How will they react? You know, we have to do something about this. Blessings Through Action became something wonderful because God asked us to bring everyone together. And when he said bring them together, he meant in love. He meant to follow him, to bring this country back to teaching our children the right ways. Let's grow in that so we can share it with our children. But most of all, let's not put them in front of a TV and use it as a babysitter if it means that they're going to sit in front of something that is going to teach them evil or wrongdoing or hate or viciousness. They don't deserve that. Make their minds full of love and joy. Teach them how much you love them and how much God loves them. Jesus died for them so that they will not only live their lives, which they have them clear ahead of them, straight ahead of them now. Teach them that so that someday they too can go to heaven and live in eternity. Thank you and have a blessed day.